Well, hello. Let's talk about the idea of legitimacy. Now, legitimacy is defined as the perception of authority or rightfulness of political actors, right? Basically, the basis of every system of authority is how sociologist Max Weber describes this. This is whether or not a person or an individual group controlling an area should be the ones controlling that area, and do the people allow them to control that area? Now, understandably, legitimacy is closely tied to sovereignty, because if you are not legitimate, you will likely not have sovereignty over a particular region. And if you have the sovereignty, also you'll likely be the legitimate leaders and controllers of that particular area. Now, we're going to break this down into this little section right here. This is adapted from The Social Contract, Lowe et al., 2019. This is also in the textbook. You can see a version of this as well, which is linked in the description for this video. So you've got these two different things, right? You've got state and government, and you've got society and social groups. Now, society is going to agree to pay taxes and other obligations to the legitimate state and government. So in certain countries, you have an income tax, you might have tariffs, you might have required military service, all these different things that you as a society or a social group, a part of the society, organizations, MNCs, things like that, agree to give to the state, give it to the government right through here. Additionally, in doing this, you are recognizing their legitimacy. So if you think, for example, you don't pay taxes to a government you don't consider legitimate. If I just came up and said, I am now the leader of the United States of America, pay me your taxes. You're not going to pay me your taxes because you don't believe I'm legitimate. If I'm the IRS and I am an officially recognized organization and you believe that I'm legitimate and I have the power to put you in jail if you don't, and I say, hey, pay me your taxes, you're going to pay me your taxes because you recognize my legitimacy. So society is going to give the state and government obligations, taxes, and a recognition of legitimacy. Now, in order for this to be effective, the state and government has to return something to society. So one of the first things they're going to do is they're going to allow some level of participation. Now, it is important to understand that this can be actual participation, where the state and government goes and gets the people's ideas, figures out what do you want to do, what do you think, how can I have you involved in this, or it could be the perception of participation. But this idea of participation is important. People feel more involved. When you feel more involved, you have more of a buy-in, and that's going to help your legitimacy if you are the state or the government. Also, they're going to provide different provisions. So certain things, goods and services, one of the roles of government is to provide goods and services. A legitimate state or government is going to provide goods and services to their society. We are going to make sure our roads are maintained. We're going to make sure that there is education. We're going to make sure that there is water that you can drink, food on the shelves, these basic things, security, all these different things are going to come and be provided. And the last one, as I talked briefly, is the idea of protection. We will make sure that you do not die. When you drive across a bridge, that bridge is going to stay up, right? It's not going to fall into the ravine down below. We're going to make sure that outside powers don't come and invade you. We're going to make sure that you are safe. Governments that provide these three things are going to be much more legitimate than governments that do not. Now, if you are not providing protection for your citizens, you're going to see more protest, more people standing up and going against the government, which is going to infringe upon your legitimacy because you're not recognizing them as doing their job. So these things really are kind of a tit for tat, back and forth. You can see them right through here. Again, if you would like more information, read The Social Contract, and that'll explain it for you as well. Comments, questions, and let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you later. Good luck.